Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the channel. All right, so the big thing here is it's not Lunar New Year. I mean, that event, it'll probably keep you happy for about 20 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Then you'll be like, well, I'm just going to either go back into competitive or, I don't know. I don't know, maybe quick play or something. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, there is big news with this patch, and that's what we're going to cover in this video. Now, right now, we don't know how this is going to affect the game. We've made a ton of videos on this where we've talked about possible impacts on the meta. There's been professional pugs were held at Blizzard where pro players got together and played a little bit with the PTR. We didn't really learn too much from that. They were still using goats. Now, the reason why they were using a lot of goats is because, well, they've been practicing goats for months. So you're not just going to stop playing that, are you, if, well, you've been practicing in it for ages and ages. Also, news we've been getting from the Overwatch League, so this is from scrims from teams that have been playing, that are currently in Burbank scrimming together, is that they're still seeing a lot of goats usage. But again, my disclaimer to that is, yeah, well, if you've been practicing it for months, you're bloody well going to use that, aren't you? You're not going to just go, well, let's roll Reaper in every game because, well, yeah, or let's roll quad DPS. So that's going to come down the line. But what we're going to do in this video is talk about what these updates are, because these are live right now, right? So you guys are probably aware, we've covered these in previous videos, but just to recap, these are all absolutely live. So I won't bore you guys with the details for sticking this on the screen. I'll just read them off to you, right? So basically, what we get is the armor change. So damage reduction from armor goes from -5 to -3, okay? Now, the dev comments, I do need to read these out because it does actually, like, this is a lot of critical information here because it depends on how much damage is going in per shot and all of that. So, the dev comments are, before this change, armor reduced all incoming damage by 5, maxing at half of the normal amount. This change reduces the damage reduction to 3 while still capping at half. This change will be most noticeable on heroes who fire quickly or in bursts such as shotguns and do more than 6 damage per shot. For example, Soldier 76's pulse rifle will now do 15% more damage against armor. Now, there was a graph. I'll put the graph on the screen. You can see in this graph here, it shows you like the increase in damage that heroes will do. Some heroes like Tracer will only do more damage off headshots, but it is a lot more damage off headshots. So if you've got the aim with Tracer, you can rip through armor mega quick. So against an Orisa, you're really good now as Tracer. You were good before, but now you can absolutely melt the armor off the Orisa. And of course, when the armor's gone, they're taking full damage then, so you can burn them down quicker. So this is massive, right? But the other implications to this change are, does it mean DPS comes into the game? Does it mean that we're going into a phase of, well, actually, we're going to see loads of DPS now because tanks get destroyed? Because what's happening at the pro level is everybody plays goats. You guys know what this is, but I'll tell you what it is right now. And it's just tanks and supports. So it's like 3 tanks, 3 supports. That's basically what it is, right? There are variations on it. You get Moira goats, Anna goats, whatever, right? You get Winston goats. Some people call that dotes, you know, because it's like a dive version of goats. There's loads of variations, but it's basically loads of tanks and no DPS heroes. Sometimes there will be 1 DPS thrown in, maybe just to mix things up, but a lot of the time it's just tanks. This is because it's a really effective comp. Now, for us mere mortals that play on the ladder, we are like, you know, every kind of strategy still kind of works, but if one team runs goats and the other team doesn't, the team running goats probably will win because all they do is stand on the point and go, come on then, take me on. It's like they get the hammer out. They're like, let's go. You want to take me on? You want to go, mate? You want to go, mate? Let's go, mate. And you go up to them and you start like slapping them and they just get healed and they smash you and then you die. And fights often last quite long. Anyway, this change means that heroes like Soldier, and also Reaper benefits from this as well. And we'll get onto Reaper in a second because, of course, he's got his insane 50% lifesteal. But a lot of the damage heroes now should be able to strip armor faster. So when you've got a massive tanky load of heroes with armor, so this doesn't include Roadhog because he doesn't have armor, but heroes like Reinhardt, Orisa, D.Va. D.Va, you can body a Soldier. This is, you can just slam into D.Va's, because D.Va's got a really big hitbox, critical hitbox for the headshot when she's in the mech. You can rip the armor off like crazy. It's insane. D.Va also gets nerfed as well. We'll get onto that in a second. So the big thing to take away from this is a new Overwatch now. This is different. Armor is not as good as it used to be. Tanks are not as good as they used to be. They will die faster. Okay, that's a fact. Now, they're doing this to stop everybody playing loads of tanks. So now we're hoping a counter to a tank might actually be a DPS, or if a tank takes sustained damage, it's going to lose its armor, then it's going to, well, die quicker instead of it being super tanky. Now, the other elephant in the room here is Brigitte, because she also gets massively nerfed. But remember, Brig's still got Repair Pack, which is still super good because it gives you a burst of armor. All right, let's move on from this because we're still not sure where that's going to go. We're going to have to monitor that heavily and just see what happens. So the next thing we want to talk about is Brigitte. Now, this is massive. Like, it's a horrendous nerf to Brig, but it's actually probably good for the game, but it's not going to be good for Brig players. And it's just like Brig is just being nerfed and nerfed and nerfed and nerfed. It looks to me like they've seriously sat down and gone, hey, you know what? We didn't like dive, so we're going to bring a hero in which counters dive, but oh wait, this hero is so good that it's changed the way the game's played in a pretty bad way. And so now we actually want to get rid of this hero, and they're just doing everything they can to slam this hero into oblivion. So if you're a Brig player, you're probably feeling like a bit of feels bad man, because your world is just getting destroyed. Every update, Brig is nerfed. So the nerf here is Rally now has a maximum duration of 30 seconds. So what does that mean? Well, simply put, guys, it means that when you use Rally, the armor from Rally lasts for 30 seconds, then disappears. Now, in the past, that you could use Rally and then you'd have the armor, right? So Brigs might rally out of combat, right? And everyone's sitting there with all the armor. The only way to get rid of the armor is to kill those heroes with the armor, right? Else they keep it. Now, you can't do that. Or well, that's obviously an option you can do, so you can. But you can just wait. So if Brig pops Rally, you could theoretically just wait 30 seconds as a team, and their armor's gone, and suddenly they're not as super strong as they were before. Because you think about heroes like Zen, when they've got tons of armor. In fact, Zarya is super good with armor, because armor goes underneath her shield. So she's like taking damage to her shields, and then regenerates her shields, and then it's just like ridiculous, right? Also, Tracer, super good with armor, because then all of a sudden she could just take way more damage. It's just ridiculous, right? So now that's massively nerfed, and also it means there's no snowball effect. So if you're like going to point 1 on Hanamura, you capture the point, you pop Rally, and then you rush forward into the fight, you're smashing everybody with your flail, you're getting more ultimate charge, your Rally fades, and then you pop it again. You can't really do that now because the armor will disappear within 30 seconds. So that's good, but I do understand for Brig players, this must feel absolutely terrible. So the next thing we're going to talk about, this is another nerf, this is D.Va. So this is a massive one, this is, because D.Va, oh my god, I think, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say, I think that at master level and below, or below master, I don't think this makes much difference to D.Va, because D.Va's defense matrix has now got a cooldown from 1 to 2 seconds, yeah? Above master, like in master and above, it makes a massive difference, because D.Va cannot no longer use a defense matrix and then actually go, oh, I didn't want to use it then, because now I'm going to use it. Now, that might sound like a strange example, but if you're playing Zarya and you see D.Va use defense matrix now, right, as soon as it drops down, you know you can drop that grab, because there is no way she can bring defense matrix back up. In the past, there was a chance she could, right? So defense matrix was kind of always there. There wasn't really that much outplay potential around it. Now there's a lot, but I think it might be maybe too much, and D.Va might suffer heavily from this. And when I say maybe too much, what I mean is that's not really, that can be seen as a good or a bad thing, but I think we might start seeing maybe less D.Va, possibly, at the highest level of play anyway. Now, there is actually a cool bit of tech you can do with D.Va. So when you've got the defense matrix out, right, you could actually look down into the ground and then look back up again. That way you hide the actual graphic of defense matrix. So against clever players, they might seem like, oh, there's no defense matrix now, I'm going to grab, but actually you've still got it on, so you just whip it back up quick. But that's like super high level. A player did it in contenders, and I forget the name of the player who did it. I think it was a Giganti player, but it was mental. When I seen it, I was like, what the hell, that is just mental. In fact, talking to mental D.Va players, I want to give a shout out to my boy Fury, who plays for London Spitfire. He is ridiculous. Like, he does some crazy things with D.Va. Hopefully we get the spectator thing for Overwatch League like we did with the World Cup, and then I can show you some of this stuff, because there were things like he would track like Hanzo firing arrows and would bring defense matrix up and down to eat the arrows. He would also like spin round 360. He does loads of crazy stuff. He would eat Hanzo dragons through a wall because he knew it's just insane. Insane player. Anyway, D.Va's nerfed, right? So we're going to have to wait and see what this means, but I think for mortal players like us, I don't think it matters too much, but I think for the highest level of play, probably does. All right, let's talk about Reaper. So Reaper's the lad with the big buff, right? So again, this is Blizzard's offensive against tanks being used in every game, or tank-heavy comps. So you've got the armor nerf, and then you've got a massive buff to the character who should be the counter to the tanks, right? That's what Reaper does. You get Reaper in point-blank range against the tank, he basically kills them. Well, I mean, with the exception of like Roadhog. If Roadhog gets a good hook and then, you know, manages to get good damage, then yeah, he'll kill the Reaper. But every other tank is just going to die to Reaper. That's a fact, and that was a fact before this buff. Now, instead of a 30% lifesteal, he's got 50%. This means he can just literally, like, he will do a ton of healing. Like, he's like one of the best healers in the game. In fact, I think he actually is the best burst healer in the game when he's just doing damage now at point blank range. It's just like insane damage is coming back. He's putting out loads of damage. He's doing damage. He does more damage to armor. So we might be on the verge of a massive Reaper meta, but we don't know. I mean, we remember back in the past we had the Beyblade meta where Anna's nano boost had the speed boost component to it. So you could like give it to Reaper and Reaper would just death blossom through the enemy team and kill everyone. Obviously that was way in the past, but that was a Reaper meta. Will we go back to that? I don't know, but this makes Reaper stronger. I actually want to play Reaper I just want to get in and play Reaper and sort of see where that takes us, because I think Reaper is going to be Reaper, I think his big problem is still getting into the fight. Once he's in the fight, Reaper's good, and he was good before, but now he's just even better. I don't know. Anyway, guys, those are the news updates for this PTR. Well, it's not PTR, sorry, for this live patch. Yeah, we've got Lunar New Year. Whatever, we've got new skins, we've got Boost Sam, but the big things we've got, the nerf to Brig's rally, which now means after 30 seconds, our armor is gone from everybody. You've got Defense Matrix has been nerfed. It's now got a 2-second cooldown instead of 1. You've got Reaper with a 50% lifesteal up from 30%, so he's super strong, or well, stronger than he was before. And obviously, you've got the armor change. So instead of -5 damage, it's now -3, so armor gets removed quicker. And a lot of heroes do benefit now from actually doing essentially more damage to armored targets. All right, guys, I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, remember you can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. You can also follow me on Instagram, which is @Stylosa, and I'll catch you lovely lot on the next one. Toodaloo.